Do you find that it is difficult to get your kids to take deep breaths when they're angry or frustrated? Well, maybe we can do it in a different way. In this video, I'm going to show you more effective ways to get your kids to breathe and calm down when they are emotionally dysregulated. Welcome to Motivation Monday episode 7. This is brought to you by HP Instant Ink. In collaboration with HP Instant Ink, I have prepared this breathing poster for you and your kids. Having these visual reminders work great for children so that they can remember what to do and how to cope with their big feelings. This template, along with many other printables, are all free for your download from the HP website. You can click on the link in the description below. If you have school-going children like me, you most likely need a printer at home to print or photocopy their homework or other activities. After using the HP printer and HP Instant Ink subscription service for 3 months, I have never once checked the ink levels or head to the stores to buy ink because HP will do it for me. Yes, they will detect low ink supplies and deliver ink cartridges to my doorstep at no delivery charge. This is so convenient for a working mom like me. The subscription is also sustainable and I can save up to 50% on ink cartridges. The good news is that you can now try out HP Instant Ink subscription service for free. Click on the link below to grab your 3 months free trial of HP Instant Ink when you own or purchase any of HP's eligible printers. If you meditate or do yoga yourself, you will know that breathing calms our nervous system, and there is a science behind this. When your child is upset that he can't get the toy that he wants, or that you cut his sandwiches the wrong way, your child's sympathetic nervous system is activated. The sympathetic nervous system prioritizes survival and brings us to the fight, flight, or freeze modes in order to cope with the disequilibrium. That is why your child goes into meltdown and becomes hysterical. There is another part of our nervous system that is in charge of bringing our bodies back to calmness when we are dysregulated, and it is called the parasympathetic nervous system. Science has shown that when we practice deep and calm breathing, it activates this parasympathetic nervous system. And this is when there is an even distribution of energy around our brain and body, and our children can then learn to rationalize, think, and solve problems. This is also the time when your kids can understand why he can't buy the toy from the shop, or how he can problem solve since the sandwiches are already cut the wrong way. We want to help our kids calm down first by activating this parasympathetic nervous system. You might be thinking, Jacinth, I know all of this. I know that breathing helps my kids, but when I tell them to breathe when they're angry or frustrated, they just continue to cry. Now, I want you to think of the moments when you are infuriated with your spouse and your husband or wife tells you to breathe. Will you be able to calm down and take deep breaths immediately? Unlikely, and this is the same for children as well. You need to find the right time to encourage your kids to take in the oxygen, and this is definitely not during the peak of a tantrum. When your kids are uncontrollable, hold space for them. This means to be present, hold your children's hands if they are receptive, assure them with short sentences. Example, I know this is so hard. You really want a toy. Or simply just say nothing. When you are consistent with your responses to your children, over time, your kids are able to expect the predictable responses from you and can calm down faster. When then do you ask your kids to take deep breaths? This is where you need to look out for signs. For example, the kids' muscles are less tense, or they begin looking at you with a plea for help, or their cries become softer, etc. Remember that we want to move our kids to the problem-solving mode eventually, and that is when we need to first activate that parasympathetic nervous system for them to calm down before doing any teaching. I have parents telling me, my kids don't know how to breathe. Well, breathing is normal and automatic, but if we want our kids to take intentional deep breaths, then we need to teach them how. Instead of telling my kids, breathe in, it can be quite difficult for them during the moments when they are not in the right state to think. What I do is to paint an imagery in their brain. So for example, I will point out to this poster and I will say, can you blow the candles on the cake? So they will pretend that their fingers are the candles and they will blow the candles. This is one way you can try. The other way is to encourage your kids to blow bubbles. So pretend that they are holding the wand with the soap and teach them to blow out the bubbles. This is helpful because we are focusing our kids' brains to blow out the air. The breathing in is actually automatic, and this will help them to calm down as well. The third way is to draw the arcs of the rainbow and breathe in and out. For example, breathe in, breathe out. The second arc, breathe in, breathe out. The third arc, breathe in, breathe out. The fourth way is to do hand breathing. So what I will do is to tell my kids to put out their hand, and I will trace it for them as they breathe in and out. This is helpful because the hands are with them all the time and they can do deep breathing anytime, anywhere. The more practice our kids get, the stronger the synapses in their brains will be. This means that with sufficient practice and repetition, your child can recall doing these breathing techniques when they are experiencing challenging situations. For example, when their friends take their erasers without permission, or when another child refuses to give up the swing at the playground. It also helps to place this poster at somewhere accessible, for example, your kids' bedroom or their playroom, so that they can easily refer to these breathing techniques when they need to. The link for this download is in the description below, so click on the link, download and print this poster for your child. In other words, breathing acts as a circuit breaker in our brains to allow us to respond rather than react. And these strategies don't just apply to kids, they apply to us, the adults as well. I highly recommend you model these breathing techniques at home. For example, I will tell my kids, I'm feeling so frustrated now, I need to take a break. I'm going to blow the candles on the cake. I hope you have picked up some tips. If you want to learn more emotional regulation strategies, which I think are very important to help our kids manage their own big feelings and their behaviors, I recommend you watch the video right here. Thank you so much for watching our Motivation Monday series, and I will see you next week for episode 8. Take care and goodbye.